For as long as I could remember, I'd wanted to live somewhere I actually liked coming home to. Not a mansion, nothing like that, just somewhere that felt like it belonged to a different kind of life than the one I'd been living. And for a while, I had that. A nice house, a good area, more than I could have afforded on my own at the time. On the way home from work, I used to drive over the moors, and there was this moment that happened every single time without fail, where the road would rise and the hills would just open up in front of you. All that space, that quiet. And I'd think, this is my life right now. The kids had a park nearby where they could just be kids, safe, running around with other children without me watching the street. On weekends, we'd walk the trails around the area. In the evenings, there'd be something going on in the community. It was the kind of place where life just felt more possible somehow. It was good, and I knew it was good. But almost from the beginning, something else was there too. Quiet at first, easy to ignore. Just a thought that would surface and then disappear before I could catch it properly. You're not pulling your weight here. She's contributing more than you. What happens if she gets tired of that? What happens when this falls apart? I'd push it down, tell myself I was being ridiculous, that I should just be grateful for once. But the thought didn't need my permission to come back. It just did. I've spent a lot of time thinking about why that was. Because the life was real. The hills were real. The kids playing out safely. All of that was actually happening. But I brought myself with me when I moved in. And the self I brought had learned a very particular kind of normal growing up. One where stability wasn't something you took for granted. Where money was always a background tension. Where things that were good had a habit of not staying that way. So when stability actually arrived, when the life I'd been reaching for was right there, some part of me just couldn't settle into it. It kept watching, kept waiting for the thing that was going to take it away. I don't think this is just me either. I know someone who worked for years to get themselves into a decent financial position. Not wealthy, just stable. The kind of stable they would have been relieved to have a decade earlier. And you'd think that would feel like relief. But they check their bank account constantly. Their partner will suggest a weekend away and they say yes, but spend the next week quietly recalculating in their head. Lying awake not because they can't afford it, just because something in them won't accept that it's okay to spend it. Everything on paper is fine, but their nervous system is still sitting somewhere else entirely, still in a different kitchen, a different year, still in that particular silence that fills a room when money is the thing nobody's saying out loud. It's not irrational. It's just old information running in a new life. And then there's a version of this that I find even more interesting. It's not just the waiting for the good thing to end. It's the working twice as hard to deserve it. Because when some part of you doesn't fully believe you're supposed to be in the good thing, the better house, the stable relationship, the life that looks a bit more like what you imagined, you don't just sit in it, you earn it, quietly, constantly. Like there's a version of you that knows the real story, that knows you slipped through somehow, that if people looked closely enough, they'd figure out you don't quite belong here. So you keep contributing, keep making yourself useful, keep performing well enough that nobody notices. And no matter how much you do, it never quite feels like enough. Because the voice isn't really about the rent. It's not about whether you pulled your weight this week or whether you're contributing equally. It's about something that was decided a long time ago, in a completely different set of circumstances, and it's still holding you to the same standard, still running the same check, still asking the same question underneath everything. But are you safe enough yet? I'm not going to tell you to count your blessings, or think positive, or remind yourself how far you've come. You've probably tried all of that. What I found is that the first thing, the only thing that actually moves anything, is just noticing. Not fixing it, not fighting it, just catching the moment when the voice shows up and recognizing it for what it actually is. Because there's a difference between a thought that's true and a thought that's just familiar. The voice that says, you don't belong here, that you're not contributing enough, that this is all going to fall apart eventually. That voice isn't describing your life right now. It's describing a life you already lived. And here's the thing that stopped me when I sat with all of this. I'm doing the same thing right now. Different house, different circumstances, same program running. And that's the part that doesn't get said enough. It's not just about understanding the past. It's about realizing the pattern didn't stay there. It came with you. So when you catch it, when you notice the old program running in a new situation, something shifts. Not all at once, but you get a little distance between you and the voice. Enough to stop mistaking it for the truth. Enough to look at what you actually have right now and let yourself be in it for a moment, without reaching for the catch. You earned the right to be in your own life a long time ago. You don't have to keep proving it. Have you ever had something good and spent the whole time waiting for it to end? Or found yourself working twice as hard just to feel like you deserved it? Drop it in the comments. I'd genuinely love to know I'm not the only one. Next episode, we're going to talk about what actually working with your nervous system looks like. Not a list of steps, just the honest, unglamorous reality of it. On a normal day, when nothing is dramatic and everything just feels a little harder than it should. This is Afro Sage.